Hello, everyone. So I will give you, I don't know, a bragging point if you can guess where I am. So I'm still in my basement, but I'm inside something. So comment on the video if you can figure out what I'm in. Maybe you have one of these at home. I don't know. So today's video is just to kind of help you get started on writing the sloppy copy of your kindness story. So today is Wednesday, and today is the day that I reserved for you to start writing. So if you feel like you are ready to start your story and start writing, if you have all your thoughts and characters figured out and you understand your climax and things like that, go ahead and get started. If you need another day just to kind of make your final decisions, if you still need to figure something out, take this time, take 20 minutes and make your final decisions on your story. So if you don't get started writing today, that's fine, but you need to start writing tomorrow, which would be Thursday. Okay, so you kind of just have to see where you're at and what you need to do. Okay, so if you're ready to start today, and whenever you get started, here are just some guidelines and some things that I want you to do that will help you get started on writing your story. So, like I said, you have to have at least 3 characters, and those 3 characters, well, let me back up. So you have to have 3 characters in your story. The ones that you choose to give parts to and the ones that you choose to share their story and to share their point of view on things, that's completely up to you. They don't have to be your major characters. It can be one of your minor characters, but your main character should definitely have at least one part in your story. But I mean, if you think about Wonder, I think Miranda and Justin, they're both minor characters. I don't think they play a major part in the story. They're not in the entire story. We meet them about midway through, so I would consider them a minor character, but the author decided to give them a part in it. So in my kindness story that I shared with you yesterday, I have 4 total characters. So I have Jacob's my main character, his friend Alex, who you really just meet at the beginning of the story. You have Jacob's mom, her name is Stacy, and then you have the dog, which I shared. I made it into a character that shares his part. His name is Rocky. So out of all of my 4 characters, the 3 that I chose to give parts to is Jacob, Stacy, and Rocky. So you decide which characters you want to have a voice in your story. It's completely up to you. So the number of parts does not, it doesn't matter to me. It's completely up to you. My story has a total of 7 parts, and Jacob has a lot of the parts. Stacy has some parts. Rocky has 1 part. And there's a period where it goes back and forth between Jacob and Stacy, Jacob and Stacy. So, and then Rocky comes at the very end, and then Jacob ends the story. So you might end up having 3 parts where your 3 characters, you have it planned out where they share their part 1, part 2, part 3. You might have way more than I did, which is 7. So it's completely up to you, and it's just as you start writing, you'll figure out where a part should end and where a part should begin, hopefully. So just keep in mind that you pick the characters, at least 3, and the number of parts doesn't matter to you at all. It's up to you. Yes. So it doesn't matter to me. That's what I meant to say. Has Mrs. Smith lost her mind? A little bit. A little bit I have. So just to kind of help you get started and to continue writing, you can use Wonder. If you just open up to the beginning of each part, no matter what character tells it, see how that character chooses to begin their story and to choose how they tell their story. What words do they use? I think Augie has a very introductory part 1 where he's like, hey, my name's Augie. I was born like this. I have a family it's Via, mom, dad, and Daisy. And then when you meet Via, she's very factual and informational. And it's here's what happened to Augie, here's the medical history behind it, and here's how I feel about him. And then you meet Justin, who has a completely different writing style. And I'll get to that part later because I know some of you are wondering, oh, can I write like Justin? So you just kind of have to decide what character traits you gave your characters and how you can kind of relay those character traits through your writing. So you can read Wonder, you can read My Kindness Story just to kind of see how I did it. But I do want you, I know that, this is the most important thing that I want you to take away from this writing is I want you to show your character's character traits through your writing without telling your reader that Jacob is a scientist or Jacob likes sports. Stacy works a lot. She's a workaholic. Think about the STAR acronym that we've talked about. What does your character say? What do they think? How do they act? What are their relationships like with people? So through conversations and through actions of your characters, I think is the easiest way to tell your reader what character traits your characters have without actually telling them. So in a way you can figure it out. So if you need help with that, read through My Kindness Story just to see how I tell you that Jacob likes science and how Stacy does work a lot and how Jacob really wants a dog. All of those things are character traits, but I never explicitly tell you what those character traits are. The reader does and should figure them out for themselves. So I want you to try and see if you can slip into your writing through some actions and through some dialogue, the character traits that you came up with your wonderful characters. Okay. So I said I would get back to Justin. Even before you all started writing, even before our school closed down, a lot of you were asking, can I write like Justin? Could I write without capital letters and without periods in my writing? And I think that is a very unique writing style. I think we learned a lot about Justin because we learned he doesn't care about grammar and capitalization and punctuation. And it's not that he doesn't know how to do it. It's just because he doesn't seem to care. He's kind of a carefree person. And when he writes, that's just how he's going to write. So can you write like Justin? Sure, you can. But you have to make sure that that writing style will match that character. Like I said, it totally makes sense that Justin wrote without capital letters and periods and things like that. But if Via did it or if Summer did it, it would not make sense at all. It would not match that character. So that's just one writing style. I don't want you to think that the only unique writing style there is to not use capital letters or periods in their sentences. There are a lot of unique writing styles and a lot of things that you could do to your character's writing to help your reader understand what kind of character they are. Okay, so if you want to think about that, and if you want to maybe give one of your characters a unique writing style, go for it. But just make sure it truly matches your character, because you don't want your reader to be like, what is happening here? When you all got to Justin, you might have been like, oh, what's happening? Why is there no capital letters? Why are there no periods? But then you kind of realize, okay, it kind of makes sense that Justin writes this way. So make sure you think about that. You don't have to. I did not do that in My Kindness Story. I just kind of wrote everyone the same way. If you want to, I think that would be a really cool thing to do. So go for it if you want to. When you write, another thing that you need to do is each time you start a new part and a new character is telling their story, you have to use the word I and me. You can't say, so if Jacob in my story was telling the story, I said I, me. I didn't say Jacob did this. Jacob closed the door. Jacob was upset. that person is telling the story. So you have to act like you are that person, and you have to say I. So each time someone, a different character tells the story, those are the words that you need to say. It's kind of almost like a diary. You don't say, you know, if I was writing a diary, I don't say, Mrs. Smith had a great day. I say, I had a great day. Okay, because I'm telling the story. So think about that too as you're writing. Okay, so you're getting ready to get started. And one last thing I want you to do. I do want you to give yourself a time limit. So each day, we're going to start it on today, which is Wednesday, and then we're going to pretty much continue it the rest of this week and into next week also. If I want you to give yourself 20 to 30 minutes, so 20 minutes at least, and then 30 minutes, I'm going to have you stop. And the reason why I do want you to stop is because first, you're going to find out that writing really is exhausting. It's your brain, a lot's happening in your brain. You're writing a whole lot, or in this case, you're going to be typing. And you're going to, once you start, you'll be like, oh, I have so many ideas. And you're writing it all down. And then you're just going to slowly get tired. And 30 minutes, really, as a fourth grader, that's all that you really have stamina for right now. Even professional authors give themselves a time limit when they're writing a story. I mean, for them, since they're a professional, it could be a few hours until they start to get tired. You all are just beginning writers, so 20 to 30 minutes, I think, is all that you can really handle. If you are like, oh, it's 30 minutes, but oh, I just want to finish it up, then yes, go ahead. Okay. I just don't want you spending, you know, hours and hours and hours, because what you'll realize too, and I realize this too, as you're writing, the more and more you go on, the more and more you type, the more you're going to start to ramble, and you're just going to start typing things that don't make sense, or you're going to misspell things, or you're going to put things that you weren't supposed to. So by the time you get to 20 to 30 minutes, your writing might become a little sloppy. So once you are finished for the day, and then the next day comes and you're getting ready to pull up your document to continue typing, make sure you reread your story each day, because you'll find that maybe you did misspell something. Maybe you put she instead of a he. Maybe you put something and you're like, I don't even know what I was thinking. So just make sure you're rereading it every single day. Even, you know, start at the beginning and work through it, because the more you read it, the more familiar you're going to get. You might want to change things. You might love something. You might hate something. So this is just a way for you to edit and revise yourself as you go. Okay. So happy writing. If you have any questions, of course, you can comment on this video, or you can have your parents send me an email. Either one is fine. If you are just really, really, really stuck and you're just having a hard time getting started, please let me know, okay? We can video chat together. I can email you. We'll figure something out, okay? So if you just feel really stuck, that's a natural part of the writing process, but we don't want to be stuck for too long and feel frustrated. So make sure you're doing that. Can't wait to hear all about your stories, and I can't wait to read them, okay? So, and if you want your bragging point, comment on where I am. See if you can figure it out. All right. Miss you guys. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you later. Bye.